What is up, guys? Welcome to the Saturday Newswave Week in Review, of course. I like to do this because I like to go back and see what you guys had to say about any of the different days when we were talking about the news in each Newswave. So if you missed any of them, this is kind of a good chance to just get caught up and we get to see some different comments of what you guys think about different things. It's a lot of fun. We're also going to go over one piece of news that kind of popped up a day or two ago. I like to talk about this stuff on Twitter, but I feel like this is probably exciting to a lot of you guys, so I figure we go over it quickly just in case you missed out on this, since it showed up in a magazine and not really it wasn't really plastered everywhere unless you kind of went to the right sites or anything. So we'll talk about that as well. So we'll do that now instead of going into Monday's Newswave. Now, if you're new here and you like gaming news, teardowns of different gaming consoles, computers and everything, consider subscribing. Have a lot of fun here. Daily videos, of course. Weekdays we do news. Then on weekends I try to do different things as well. But for today, guys, let's get started. So on Friday, we found out that the rumor that the Naruto trilogy, specifically the Naruto Storm trilogy, is coming to the Nintendo Switch. This was in the Shonen Jump magazine that kind of outlined all three, or at least the first three. The fourth one, strangely, is not there. Now with the PS4 and the Xbox One versions, that fourth iteration was there, but strangely it's the first three. Now there's a chance that fourth one may be coming at some point as maybe just a download or something that you buy. But in this case, the first three Naruto Storm games are coming, in this case, to the Switch at some point. We don't really know a date or anything, but after it was outlined in the magazine, Naruto fans got super excited about this because this is the first time Naruto has really been back to a Nintendo system since the original Wii. They did have some Naruto games on there, but it did skip the Wii U, as most of us expected. The Wii U missed out on a lot of stuff, right? Like, Bethesda wouldn't have gone really near that with something like a Doom or Skyrim or anything, but they're all over the Switch. And now we see, of course, Bandai Namco. They talked, in this case, to their investors saying, listen, we messed up. We should have been on the Switch sooner. We're on it now. And there you go. This is just more backing that they understand that they missed. They definitely whiffed on the Switch's, really their reception. They thought, of course, they had to be very conservative with the Wii U, but here we go now. Naruto is showing up on the Switch. Well, on Monday, we talked about the big update coming to Minecraft on the Nintendo Switch. This update will introduce the new Bedrock game engine, as well as full crossplay between the Xbox One, PC, and other versions of the game, excluding the PS4. We also talked about Atari's quest to create their own cryptocurrency, the Atari token. Nintendude789 says, as a PlayStation fan, I am pretty upset that Sony won't join in with cross-platform play. PS4 is doing so well. They're being blinded by the cash they're getting and making anti-consumer practices. Luckily, I have the Switch version of Minecraft, so I could still get the cool features. Now, I will say your handle kind of implies that you're more of a Nintendo fan, but I'll take your word for it because, of course, your avatar, I guess, was a PlayStation symbol. Either way, you say you're a PlayStation fan, that's fine. And I understand why some PlayStation fans might be kind of frustrated, especially if you have friends who have an Xbox, PC, or a Switch in this case, and they have Minecraft. They are getting the benefits of that cross-play, really that cross-play that you're not going to get otherwise with the PS4. Now, we've even seen it with other games like Fortnite where you can do it. They've accidentally flipped the switches, you would say, or flipped the little toggle that lets you do it, because at one point the PS4 and Xbox players were gaming against each other, and for some reason now, as we've seen it, Sony is so far ahead, they don't feel like helping the people behind them up, because you have to buy the PlayStation version to play with other PlayStation gamers. But here's the thing. You are not going to get the best version, because the Bedrock engine will be on the Xbox, the PC, and the Switch, but it won't be on the PS4. It's not getting the Better Together update, which is still weird. I mean, I guess because it's a Microsoft property, they don't really want them to be on there like that. It's so weird. Look, I get it. When you're using the Switch version, you do have to hit a button that says sign into your Microsoft account. So you do have to have a Microsoft account. Sony, I guess, does not want that on their system. So I can at least understand that, you know. They don't want you to have to go, oh, I got to go to Microsoft's platform, make an account so I can sign in on my PlayStation account. Yeah, I understand that to a degree, but still, I think they should look into crossplay with other things. I don't think Rocket League works between PS4, Xbox, and Switch, for example. That's something that should. Fortnite, that's something that should. I mean, the game is mostly free through multiplayer anyway, and people are just going to kind of go against each other. So I wish Sony would kind of look into that a little further and make that work for consumers in this case. Tuesday, we found out that Capcom would be releasing the Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2 on May 22nd. Other details included Capcom's choice to include only the first Legacy Collection on the cartridge, leaving the much larger Legacy Collection 2 for the customer to download. Magician NG says, definitely not happy about the Mega Man Legacy Collection nonsense. At least with the Resident Evil Collection, splitting Revelations 2 into a download makes sense because the game is a 28 gigabyte download, which when combined with Revelations 1 is more than the currently largest Switch game card of 32 gigabytes. But Mega Man Legacy 1 and 2 has to be less than 8 gigabytes combined, right? I would have happily paid $60 to have these games released as two individual $30 physical releases, Capcom. You know, I saw that point made a lot. People were saying, well, they did it with Resident Evil Revelations. What were you expecting? Well, Revelations was very large. Like, if you put them together like they're saying here, it's larger than the biggest Switch cartridge available now, that 32 gigabyte card. There are 64 gigabyte cards in the works. How much are those going to cost, though? I don't know. I mean, Capcom obviously put some money into that since they had that cartridge there for it. I just don't, the decision to do this is just, it blows my mind, because they could have easily fit this on an 8 gigabyte card, right? Maybe not a 4 gigabyte card, although it could have been close if they used compression or whatnot, but in this case, I think an 8 gigabyte card at $40 is fair. I do. I think that's completely fair. I just feel like Capcom put this thing on like a 512 megabyte card, like, you know, like a 3DS card at this point, and put it out there. It's weird to me that they had to go this route. I don't get it myself. When we buy a physical game, I would like it to be on the cartridge completely. I get we have a point right now where some things on the Switch aren't ready yet when it comes to cart sizes, and sacrifice have to be made for something like Resident Evil Revelations Collection. It's either there on the Switch or it's not, so they have to compromise in some way. But there should have been no compromise with this Mega Man cartridge, right? Zero. Like, I don't see how there is any compromise here to where we have to download the 4 gigabyte, 5 gigabyte game, 6 gigabyte even on the PC at times, and then we get the 400 megabyte game on our cartridge. No sense made. I don't get it. And you know what? I hope Capcom realizes this, although I'm curious how many people actually buy the physical version, because at this point, I'm just going to buy the digital version, to be honest. I might even just get Legacy Collection 2 on the Switch, because I have the first one on the PC, and I like that second collection a little more than the first collection. So I'll probably just get it digitally, to be honest. What's the point in buying it physically at this point? The box art doesn't look good. Big banner at the top that says you need to download. No reason at all, by the way. So I feel no reason. A clean cloth, who cares? Wednesday, we went over a big Doom patch for the Switch that added gyro support for aiming, as well as bug fixes and optimizations for performance. We also touched on the situation surrounding Metal Gear Survive that caused reviews to be absent after Konami kept servers off until release day. Etsuko Kakari says, oh no, without EA on Switch, who will scam me? Oh, don't worry. We have 2K for that. Phallic Idol says, Nintendo fans are less likely to buy loot boxes, so EA isn't interested. See, I hear that sometimes, like from a lot of people. They're like, oh, Nintendo fans wouldn't buy that. But things like Fire Emblem on the cell phone does exceptionally well in Japan. People are buying it. You know, Fire Emblem mostly from Nintendo, so I do think Nintendo fans are going to buy it just as much as anyone else. Honestly, these things tend to focus on people's gambling, really their issues where they want to gamble. And of course, there are people out there who just don't have time and they want to put money in and just buy the loot boxes and get ahead. Nintendo fans, Sony fans, Xbox fans, PC fans, it doesn't matter. We're all people and we all buy this stuff. We've seen it, right? Most of the time, the minority for these loot boxes are the people that are not buying it, actually, as we've seen with some of these studies coming out. So I don't think you can group Nintendo fans together and say, oh, they don't buy loot boxes. But no, they're going to buy them just the same as other people. We're all people who have those tendencies to buy in to get advantages. It happens. Now listen, I'm not saying you are going to buy a loot box. I don't really even buy loot boxes when it comes to any of this stuff, but I know the majority does at this point, and that's why, despite all of the people online getting mad at EA and yelling at them, they're still putting loot boxes back in the Battlefront because, well, it didn't sell anyway when we took them out. We might as well put them in and get the money from the whales that'll buy in. Thursday, we saw a Smash Bros. Rumor making the rounds, with Emily Rogers mentioning that Smash Bros. Would be announced and released later this year. According to Rogers, this version will be based on the Wii U version with extra content added. Yuri says, I am pretty sure that Smash Bros. Switch will come in 2019, because that will be the 20th anniversary of Smash Bros. I like that idea a lot, actually, because they could do something cool where they take the original commercial. If you're old enough to remember that commercial, maybe you've gone back and watched it. Awesome commercial, by the way, where they're running through a field with like happy music, and then somebody trips like Donkey Kong, or somebody trips Pikachu, and all of a sudden they just start brawling it out. People in like the big, Disney World costumes, with the big heads and everything, just start brawling it out, and like Donkey Kong's like throwing Pikachu across the field and everything. Love that commercial. It was great, and it really set this tone for the game to be this really cool unique idea, and a lot of people bought it, and you know, the rest is history. But I think that'd be really cool to do that because they could do a couple things with it. They could release an entire special edition for like the 20th anniversary and everything, but I do think they want it out this year if they're going to do it, because if they wait too long, I mean, it wouldn't make any sense to bring it out in the same year with probably what Metroid's going to come out next year. I mean, we think Pokemon's coming out this year, but there's always a chance it falls to next year. Smash, if it is mostly the Wii U version being brought over with extra content, that's a game they can put out this holiday and make a ton of money and sell stuff, and it would push systems. A lot of people would put down and put away their Wii U and pick up a Switch and start playing that, because, well, that's where the new Smash Bros is. That's where the esports scene would go to for the people that compete there. And it's just, it's sold so well on the Wii U. It's an easy sell. Mario Kart showed us that even if you port like an older game like that over to the Switch, it's still gonna sell like crazy. And yeah, Smash Bros is right there with Mario Kart. Finally, on Friday, we went over an interesting crossover for Final Fantasy 15 that puts Gordan, Freeman, and the Half-Life universe into the latest Final Fantasy iteration as a free update that is included with the Steam version. Nelson Tetsuro Yatsu says, Spawnwave, you kind of look like Gordan Freeman. I thought it was an avatar of yourself. You know, I thought about this as I was making that thumbnail. I was looking at it, I was like, man, I really do look like Gordan Freeman when I was putting it together. It was very tough to distinguish between the two if you really look at them, same features and everything. But then I thought about it a little further and I was like, well, one of us is retired, so at this point, you know, Gordan Freeman looks like me. Man, I just made myself really sad. I want Half-Life 3. I wish Valve would stop being lazy about it. And guys, that's going to do it for Newswave Week in Review. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, guys. It really helps out. If not, hit the dislike and leave a bunch of comments down below, guys, about any of the stuff we talked about today. Maybe you want to talk about that Smash Bros. Rumor that Emily Rogers put out there. Listen, I've had Emily send me stuff off the record, like Sean was saying at one point in the comments, and she has been credible about different things. I also understand that she was also wrong about certain things. Mother 3, I get it, that wasn't there, but still, she has been right about some stuff, and it's usually wise to at least listen to what's out there, just to see if it comes true. And, you know, it'd be really cool if Smash Bros. Did show up this year, because I think it would help. But let me know what you think about the Smash Bros. Rumors, the weird Final Fantasy and Half-Life crossover, and then, of course, let me know what you think about things like Metal Gear Survive, or maybe you got a chance to try out that really cool Doom patch that came out because you're a fan of gyro controls, and now the game feels completely different to you. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you later on tonight for Spawncast.